forgetting one thing, but doesn't this look delicious? Look at those eggs, look at those rice, just harmoniously combined together to make one delicious bowl of eggy rice. Forgot one thing. I'll be right back. Secret key to make this shit taste so much better. Everything but the bagel seasoning. Just sprinkle a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean empty like half the fucking container into it. It's really annoying that, I don't know what it is, but, well, I do know why, because they're so tiny, but this thing, like, it'll just send out like 1,000 poppy seeds and then like nothing else all at once. And then sometimes you get some sesame, but most of the time it's just... Anyway, now that I put 10 pounds worth, I'm gonna put some salt in there. We're good to go. Got my Fairlife. I already drank one of these because I couldn't wait, but this just makes it so much better.
He's better!
Much better!
So this is what I do pretty much every morning. Also, give you guys a little update on what I'm doing right now. I've been, obviously, coaching, all that sort of stuff. Awesome team. Team's like... Everyone's crushing it. We're at about 53 people. 18 are doing Raw Nationals. Everyone's got a shirt. We're good to go. But also applying to Strasbourg, which is in New York City. For those of you who don't know, Strasbourg Institute is a method acting school for which I will be applying for a part-time program, which would start in January. And if I get in, that would be awesome, first of all. But if I do really well, and I enjoy it, and I think it's a valuable use of my time, then all the credits that you got from that part-time program transfer over if you decide to do it full-time and become a full-time student. So that's kind of what I'm pouring my introspective sort of time into, really trying to dig deep and explain to them why I want to go there and why I'm interested in acting. And it's got a poppy seed in my chest. Look at this. It's like all poppy seeds. You see that? Trying to kill me. But it's really caused me to think. Like, I'm really sitting down and asking whys, because I think you need to do that with everything you do. I think once you know your why, it makes it so much more clear the path you can take, or path you should take, number one. But number two, when you know your why, you just don't give up. When you know why you truly want to do something at its core, like any fluctuation along the way, any like low point that you reach in your pursuit of it, it gives you something to hold on to. It gives you a reason to keep pushing. And I think that when people don't know their why, it's easy to go through something when you're enjoying it, but when you're not and you're like really in it, like you're really in the trenches, it's easier to give up because you don't know what you're working for. Brain gains right there. That's my deep life advice from Uncle Sean for today. I'm going to go back to eating over here. Maybe I put too much salt. This is actually really salty. I fucked up. But I'm going to finish breakfast, and then I'll see you guys at the gym. Today's not an SBD day. I'm going to show you guys a bench day today. Because people are always asking me, Sean, do you only bench with an arch in your training? Like, do you ever do any accessories? Well, I'm going to prove to you that I do more than just this. I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, seriously, go. I want to eat. Go! Alright guys, so today's video is for those of you who ask me all the time, like, Sean, what do you do for bench? Do you only bench with that crazy arch? Do you have any sort of assistance exercises that you do? Do you do any sort of bodybuilding stuff? This video is for you guys because
I don't just competition bench. Several times a week I'm doing a varying grip, feet up bench pressing, and a ton of accessory stuff. So I'm just gonna stop talking about it right now. Get my AirPods in, and I'm gonna get to it. So, first, we do have competition bench. After you guys see it. So you guys just saw a single with 375, and I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through what my bench training looks like, because I think it's a very unique situation. Whew, out of breath from bench, this is bad. It's a very unique situation with how I structure my bench training. So there's kind of a balance of kind of how much you should train a lift based on like where your experience is at with the lift and where your efficiency is at. So you see guys on one end of the spectrum like Ray Williams, who is a really strong squatter, but he doesn't train the lift that frequently. And it's because one, he's just never needed to push his volume or frequency to progress, but two, just with the absolute load on his body, he needs to do a lot less because he wouldn't be able to recover from squatting as high frequency as a smaller or weaker person might. However, if you're really efficient at a lift, in the case of like how I bench press, where it is a lot of weight but does not put a lot of stress on the body, and mechanically I'm in very advantageous positions, I can practice it a lot more. So in my case, I'm benching 5 days a week. I take singles 3 days a week on the competition movement because one, the technical aspect of the lift needs to be challenged very frequently. It's not like someone who has a long range of motion where they can kind of focus on sub-max work, build up volume, and it carries over more directly. Working above the 95% range for me kind of is necessary because of kind of the technical breakdown that can happen when you get up to those close to max effort percentages. I'm moving on to 419. The weight feels pretty good. This cyst is shrinking every day. Amazing, I'm loving it. So, let's get to the single. Going 200 keys next. This is where my bench has been kind of crapping out on me the past couple weeks with regards to this wrist, but I'm feeling it today. I believe! Do you believe? I believe! those mind games with myself right now. So I had the blue here to load up 210, but when I put on the black and the collar, it just looks a little bit less intimidating, you know what I mean? So we're gonna take 210 for a single now. We're gonna see how that goes. I haven't taken this in a couple weeks now since this wrist has been giving me issues. My right arm's kind of been lagging behind a little bit, which is a little strange. I've never experienced that before. But overall, this is probably the best I've felt in a while on bench, and I would definitely credit that to the increased frequency that I've adopted, because I was benching 4 days a week to kind of give myself a little bit of a break, but I found that it was a little bit too, wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I was feeling fresh, but I was feeling weak every session. So we're gonna take the not so scary 210. Very scary, not so scary. Very scary, not so scary. Let's go. So excuse number one, my no slip drip slippers were in fact slipping. So we're gonna take this again. We're gonna take the not so scary 463 again. We're gonna do it better because my feet aren't gonna slip, because I'm gonna fix my foot positioning. We're gonna be good. X, did you think I was gonna die?
No.
You're full of shit. The pause was better on that one at least. Fuck!
It was scary.
My shoulder did crack, but it didn't hurt, but I did scare Xavier because it did pop. I don't know what happened. This is the most I've benched since I hit 479 in training like a month ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. And the wrist is feeling better, like I said, blah, 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 but that shit felt heavy. We're gonna move on to sixes now, super light, 374. So you guys will see the first working set of competition work, and then I'll get into the other stuff I do for bench because everyone seems to think this is all I do. So, let's go.
A-B.
I swear these accessories, like, I feel more gas than when I'm doing like actual reps on a squat or a deadlift. Just goes to show you how unathletic powerlifters become. So I'm done. That is like my bodybuilding day. It's nothing fancy. It's not a series of like 1,000 different supersets. I do my competition bench press. I do a varying grip or a feet up bench press. In today's case, it was a Larson press. And then I always do pen leg rows twice a week. I find that they are probably the best upper back builder, first of all. And second, they definitely are like a massive contributor to my deadlift strength going up. Like when I sandbag them or I take them out, my deadlift goes down. So I keep those in. Pull downs with the mag grip, that thing is fantastic. It allows you to take like a much more natural grip and lets you get a lot more range of motion. So that's obviously great for hypertrophy. And then I just do some assorted arm stuff. It's awesome that they have the arm blast or whatever that curl thing is. It makes me look way more jacked than I actually am. Those scapula push-ups on the foam roller are fantastic. Try them. They're way, way, way harder than they look. Like sets of 5 with a good tempo will get you as gassed as doing like a set of 30 or 40 actual push-ups. Making sure to keep the heels driving back into the wall, making sure the pelvis is tucked underneath you with the hamstrings, and getting a full protraction as you come all the way up and not just stopping when your arms are locked. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna eat for dinner. I'm heading home now. I'm burnt. Like this day, like I said, even though it's just bench press, all the accessories and stuff with the limited rest time, because I do try to limit my rest a lot more than I would on like a squat or a deadlift. It definitely takes a lot out of me in terms of just like breathing. Oh man, it's so upsetting. Like I used to be an athlete. All us powerlifters are just washed up athletes, but somewhere down the road I will definitely start doing more bodybuilding stuff. Maybe I'll do a show one day when I'm like kind of not content with, but like okay to set aside powerlifting goals and shift to something else. So but that's gonna be another like 5 more years of muscle, which we are not there yet. Also, I just don't do upper body stuff enough. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'll see you guys back at the house. Cooking up a delicious gluten-free meal. I'm so excited. So right now, guys, for dinner, we're doing ground turkey, some black beans, and some rice. Pretty basic meal. Obviously gluten-free, which is what I'm trying to do right now. Nothing exciting, but what I do have for you guys that's super exciting over here is I'm going to be dry aging, I know, big beef tenderloin. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with beef, that is where filet mignon comes from. And in the past, you could never dry age unless you had a dry aging room, which required you to not have any moisture. You had to have this room that was temperature controlled and completely void of all moisture in the air. But my dry bags are these special bags that keep moisture out and allow it to escape and don't let any come back in, so that there's no harmful bacteria that would grow on the steaks that you're trying to dry age. And that's what I'm going to do with this beef tenderloin here. I'm going to dry age it for about 45 days, which should kind of get it to like this, I wouldn't say peak, but it gets it to a perfect time point where you start to get those funky dry age notes, and it really breaks down the muscle to just this super concentrated beef flavor. So in 45 days, you guys will be seeing this. I'm really excited to eat that. Got the vacuum sealer over here, so I'm gonna place the beef in the bag, and then I'm going to vacuum seal it, and you just put it away in the fridge, and it's good to go. All right, guys, so this is dinner. Like I said, ground turkey. It's 94% lean. We have 8 ounces of that, half a cup of black beans, and then 2 cups of white rice. It's a very filling meal, but to me, ground meat is kind of plain, so I season it pretty heavily. If you guys are interested in the seasoning, take your pens out. I'm going to use chili powder, cumin, turmeric, garlic, salt, pepper, paprika. I think that's it, but I use a lot. You kind of need a lot, and it actually makes it taste pretty good. Usually I've always felt like ground beef and turkey is like only bearable to eat, but this comes out pretty good, especially with the black beans in it. Adds good variety of textures, which is very big for me. Like I like different textures in whatever I'm eating. I can't see what time it is, but I know that I'll have one more meal before I go to bed, usually high protein. I'll have De Novo Subs protein, either sea salt caramel or candy bar pie. They're both super tasty, both really easy to mix.
It's just super convenient to have a protein powder to eat alongside whatever other snack you decide to eat before going to bed. I'll usually do like rice cakes or some kind of carb, like an easily digestible carb, and then protein, just quick, doesn't really fill you up. Use my code NORI on denovosubs.com. There's my plug for the day. Obviously, this isn't as exciting as a dry aged piece of meat, but once I finish this up for you guys, I'm going to walk you guys through the process of dry aging it with those umai bags. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so this is a little louder than I expected, but I put it in the umai bag. I am currently sealing it for the second time right now. And then it'll pretty much be good to go. You had to put this little... Flossy guys there. Just had to put this little kind of strip in the bag itself after putting the meat in, and then cool little graphic kind of explaining everything, and then after that point it's pretty much done. Just gotta seal it, and that is it. Oh, and then I get to put this sticker on it, put in the start date, so in 45 days you guys will see the final date. Grab a pen. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all there was to it. If you guys want to order these, again, umai dry bags, you want to make sure that there's pretty much like 80% coverage of the meat. It's not going to be completely sealed, but for the most part it is. So we have it going in today, 9/17, and won't be taking it out till November 1st, 45 days from now. But I'm really excited for when that day comes, and I will show you guys what it looks like then. But for now, this guy's got to go in the fridge. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. You guys got to see a little bit more of kind of my fluff and buff kind of workouts, saw what I got to eat. I'm really excited for that dry aged piece of meat. So 11/1 guys, 45 days, when that video comes out, I'm really excited to show you guys what I do with it. I think it's going to come out fantastic, honestly. For those of you who haven't tried dry aged meat before, I recommend that you go to a restaurant that serves dry aged beef. You will probably never want to eat a steak that hasn't been dry aged before after trying that. So let me know what you think if you head to a restaurant that has dry aged beef. I know that I'm going to one in Chicago after Raw Nationals. Regardless of the outcome, I'm getting a steak after I compete. So right now, you can kind of see the clock. I think it's like 10:30. I'm gonna go relax. I'm gonna go edit this video for you guys, put it out tomorrow morning. And that's all I have for you guys. Remember, there are no bad days. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. Do whatever you gotta do. And I'll see you guys Thursday on the 4-week out SBD day. Things are starting to get serious. Take care.